Okay, let me take my steel toe work boots off now. I only put them on so I can walk across the grass without getting my socks wet. Quite frankly, I don't feel like wearing my boots at the moment. Nor do I fully feel like being barefoot at the same daggone time. But, as usual, as much stuff as my boot stretch in the bond here, need to, gonna just have socks on. I'm gonna need to sweep. I'm about to be walking right here. And nothing gets on my foot. Alright, Yahtzee. Here I go again for the heck of it, because it's my page. I can talk about stuff I probably should not be talking about. I usually get people mad. But I'm going to explain this one. So, now, I do not box. I've been friends with people that box. Pretty much, I love how Tony Jeffries talks about his standard boxing style stance, pretty much right here. So, pretty much, I love how Marvin Cook explains, you have your track, you have your shooter. Your track moves, pretty much. Everything else, all that, knees bent, balls of feet, hands up, chin tucked, all that, keeping this right here pretty good. Pretty much 50-50 weight distribution. Oh, that popped. So, with that right there, I'm so used to doing that slide up and down karate style bounce. But they're pretty much the style on top of them or further out that front one so you can deflect stuff and still punch more. But anyway, pretty much. So they teach you for most standard stuff or power to rotate your foot. So step with the jab, right here, step, rotate. Ankle, rotate. It'll rotate in there. You're getting your lower body rotation from your ankle, just like with the forward hook. Boom. Right there. Boom. Boom. You will rotate on that foot. And the same rotation is the same thing I do in my stepping movements, pretty much. When I do the pivot, pretty much that I do. I'm pretty much on step over here. You can do it with both feet. You can kind of step, and you're kind of like, so you can take one leg right here, and you can literally move your body around while that leg doesn't move. Just like you can have this right here, and your upper body can move a little bit, okay? So you can have a little bit of hip back and forth movement. Right here, I move my feet. Feet can be parallel. I can slightly move my hip this way, that way, whatever way. The more you stretch, the more stuff you do, the more loose you are, the more better you will have that flexibility. Just like, for example, easily you have a connection socket. I can keep my arm straight, and I can literally do this. So the whole saying of, oh, you need your feet behind like almost every shot to create power. No, that is for beginners. I take this down to beginner myself, but once you learn how to do that hip movement, whatever movement you got, you learn how to throw that hip. You're not trying to fully extend and truly like you're doing a full 100% full power, all forward lead strike, just a little bit. Stepping, right there, step, boom, that's it, boom, you're coming right back. But it does help the control, boom, with that back leg. So if you're coming forward, boom, I prefer using the back leg to control the front leg because it allows me to have more movement, but their hip, boom, extend, pull back with that back leg. All right, because everything is going forward, extend out this way, pretty much. Pull back this way. I've been through all this forward, all that inertia. I'm supposed to stop and then bring it all back. Nah. That back one can control so much of this, which technically is where Bruce Lee's lead strike comes from. Everything pushing back, going forward, and kind of upward motion. But anyway, you should be able to move, and just sit down on your punches. Sit. And not have to fully extend on stuff. As long as you have a decent thing, you're not trying to fully go forward. It's not perfect. Like I said, it's easier on this side and this side. But do something pretty much with that back leg. And just because it comes from the back, it's more disguised. So they can see everything in front. Pretty much. Boom. Boom. That tiny little bit. Boom. 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 And I can still move without throwing myself off. I can still have that move, and most is from an opposite side. It's from an opposite side this way. And because I went kind of a little bit up with it, I can sink down this way with it. Kind of just like in the idea of Wing Chun with upward, downward. If you ever, I love when Sensei Seth slowed down the footage of Bruce Lee's actual real sparring match or fight. And in the slightest bit of millimeters, centimeters, smallest bit of inches, you'll see for most of his forward attack movements, so very slightly the way you didn't see it, and then going back down, movement to control. It's on a plane, pretty much, this angled, and most of it is controlled from the hip at opposite side. Opposite side back here where everything is hitting. Pretty much, kind of like imagine the idea of a boat and it has a rudder at the back, for example. But in general, you also, a lot more deals with your shoulders. You realize, same thing. I went forward. The pull back of this makes that get longer. The pull back of that. Right there, okay, if you really want to add more power, that's when you put the hips and everything into it. Especially if you're trying to sink down, sit down your punch. Get that hip. You're not just completely turning, you're going this way, you're going down at the same time. Just like Jack Dempsey's falling step, for example. Or back, boom, boom. And you're sitting down on it pretty much. Boom, boom. And then obviously you pivot back out or continuation with shots or whatever. Pretty much. Bop, bop, bop. Now, I'm not saying never turn your foot. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying you don't have to. Plus, turning your foot for power is a stationary thing. It is hard to step, turn your foot, and go back. So much of this in front, you threw all this forward, you now have to find a way to move back in another position. That's why it's a real true power shot. Because everything down here, this whole entire rotation of your whole entire leg, taking all the mass of your hips, your stomach, especially if you're tight like me, and the other part of your shoulder, all this in this area from here to there, there's so much mass going, boom, into it. And then going right back into it. That's like asking a car to drive real fast, stop, and then drive real fast again. It makes no sense in my mind. I mean, yeah, but like I said, stuff like that, it's just to understand that, hey, you need to, but the more you get, it's a connection, disconnection. Disconnection, connection, I call it. You are connected like a chain that has little spaces, and at the end it fully connects and makes one big, all of them in one area. Until it is loose, it is not wooden. This right here, pretty much, is wooden. Is wooden. Is wooden. Pretty much. Just like with the back leg, it's wooden. It doesn't have that good thing. If you want a real good pop and snap into something, you need that disconnection, connection, disconnection. It's like the idea of slacking a rope. This is a little bit different thing. It's not going forward. It's a bit similar concept. I'm just talking about a backwards reference. Imagine slacking a rope, and you're holding that rope, and all of a sudden you feel it pull tight, and you get jerked. It's the other opposite way. Just like I love using the chain and mace thing. You have the chain, you have the mace at the end, pretty much. All that right there, loosely, pretty much going into it. Boom. Whip it into it, pretty much. Boom. Boom. And you see right there, boom. This is more reverse punch style. But I like it when I naturally do this. I naturally put my head offline with it. Instead of something that's going to keep my head if I was to do a proper cross, pretty much the way I do it, I'll actually bring my head closer. More reverse punch style. I've done took my head offline where I brought my head further back and still also lengthened my reach, pretty much. And the fact if I'm already going like right here with it, I can then, boom, I can use that momentum to do that. Boom, step, pop. I would just need a slight little bit of step right here to widen it up. Just run that back leg. Just run that back leg. Pretty much. Just like with kicks, for example. A lot of people in kicking, they have their feet parallel. So you can't see really what the back leg's doing. And you can pretty much change all kinds. I already said in our video, if you're sideways and you don't want to do a full out thing like this to be forward or whatever, lift your heels up, take your ankles, there you go. Now you're facing forward. You're not squared up, but you're forward. Same thing right here, right there. That's the only difference. That's the only difference. That's all it is. It is quite simple. So yeah. After you learn that, and you get the more hip flexibility, everything else with it, and you get that, and you get that, and you get that, and you get that, more movement. You ain't got to. But like I said, the more you realize, more pull back of that shoulder. More boom. Right there, because upper swinging. Imagine you're trying to swing some. Boom. Boom. Right there. Boom. That's it. That is it. I did not have to move bomb part of me at all. These are your tracks. This is the extension of that. And you can use light ones with your front one, just line up stuff. Because this is really going to be your power hand anyway. And if you extend your arm more like you're trying to grab something, and you got to get very good at accuracy of your knuckles. If you're going to do what I do with bag or hard stuff half the time, it makes your hand move quicker than trying to push it out. Trying to, of course, you're making the other side do it. Because all that, whoop, boom, all that right there, that connection. That's the same way Bruce Lee had his stuff. But, boom. See, I do it in a way where I'll kind of, right there, so then I can move. Everything right there, boom, boom. Do it in a way that's controlled. So either come from your hips, but it's so much easier when you come forward thinking, oh, that front hip. Nah, that back hip. That slight little bit. It can also be a drop. And it gotta be turning. It can also be a drop. I just said it and then I was showing it. I just said it. It ain't got to be a full out everything. You can either just dip a little bit with it, something like that, or just slice a little bit of turn. Because if I was straight and I turned too far, right in front of me is a target. There we go. Right here. Don't over rotate. Same thing with this. Don't over rotate. Boom. Right there, lined up. Here to there. Constant guard protected. Pretty much. Also, this right here is well too. That's already right here. Try and protect your chin with your shoulder in this. Pretty much. Boom. That slight little bit of dipping, My front hand falls down a lot. I'm more used to keep my hands down. I'm still trying to practice keep them up. This side goes down easy. I have shoulder problems, so that shoulder wears down real quickly. Pretty much. So yeah. Boom. As you can tell, this side right there is not that good for a power side. I used to do it this way. I tell you, the most power is standing square. If you ain't got a parallel, you can be a little bit this way, and then you throw it down that way, which you have the twist of the foot would help. But it's not so much. Well, there's one version for the back one that's actually not bad, twisting your foot. But like I said, that's stationary power. That's not movement power. Now there will come in the retraction back of your shoulder or of your hips. Your hip. That move right there. When I first started, I used my ankles and my knees to make that same thing. Because I had no understanding of my hips, pretty much. So as always, thanks for watching.